Welcome back to our journey through Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. We've covered 4 books. We've learned about gratitude, mortality, wasted time, and inner peace. Now in Book 5, Marcus focuses on something fundamental to Stoic philosophy: duty and cooperation. Book 5 opens with one of the most famous passages in all of Stoicism. It's about waking up in the morning and facing the work of being human. It's about understanding that we're made for cooperation, not comfort, that we have a purpose, and that purpose involves working with and for other people. This book is practical and direct. It's about doing your job without complaint, about understanding that difficult people are part of the plan, about recognizing that you're part of a larger whole and your duty is to serve that whole. Book 5 challenges the idea that happiness comes from avoiding difficulty. Marcus argues that happiness comes from fulfilling your nature, and your nature is social. You're made to work with others to contribute to the common good. This isn't easy. It requires getting out of bed when you don't want to, dealing with people who frustrate you, doing things that aren't fun. But this is what it means to be human. Let's begin. Book 5 of Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Section 1. In the morning when you rise unwillingly, let this thought be present: I am rising to the work of a human being. Why then am I dissatisfied if I am going to do the things for which I exist and for which I was brought into the world? Or have I been made for this, to lie in the bedclothes and keep myself warm? But this is more pleasant. Do you exist then to take your pleasure and not at all for action or exertion? Do you not see the little plants, the little birds, the ants, the spiders, the bees working together to put in order their several parts of the universe? And are you unwilling to do the work of a human being? And do you not make haste to do that which is according to your nature? But it is necessary to take rest also. It is necessary. But nature has fixed bounds to this too. She has fixed bounds both to eating and drinking, and yet you go beyond these bounds, beyond what is sufficient. Yet in your actions it is not so, but you stop short of what you can do. So you do not love yourself, for if you did, you would love your nature and her will. But those who love their trade wear themselves out working at it, unwashed and without food. But you value your own nature less than the engraver values his engraving art, or the dancer his dancing art, or the lover of money, his money, or the vain man his little glory. And these men, when they have a violent affection for a thing, choose neither to eat nor to sleep rather than to perfect the things they care for. But are the acts which concern society more worthless in your eyes and less worthy of your labor? This is it, the most famous passage about getting out of bed. You wake up. You don't want to get up. It's cold. The bed is warm. You're comfortable. Why move? Marcus says, I am rising to do the work of a human being. This is what I exist for. This is why I was born. Was I made to lie in bed and stay warm? That's more pleasant, sure. But do I exist just to take pleasure? Or do I exist for action, for work, for contribution? Look at nature. The plants grow. The birds build nests. The ants work together. The spiders spin webs. The bees make honey and organize their hive. Everything in nature does its work without complaint. Are you going to be the only creature that refuses to do what it's made for? But you need rest. True. Nature requires rest. But nature has set limits. You need sleep, but not 12 hours. You need food, but not constant feasting. Yet you'll push the limits on rest and pleasure, while stopping short of what you could do in meaningful work. This shows you don't truly love yourself. If you loved yourself, you'd love your nature and want to fulfill it. Think about people who love their hobbies, craft, the engraver who obsesses over his work, the dancer who practices until exhaustion, the person chasing money who works constantly, the person seeking glory who sacrifices everything for recognition. These people skip meals, lose sleep, wear themselves out for what they love. You are a social creature. Your work is contributing to society, to the common good. Is that less worthy than engraving or dancing or money or glory? If craftsmen can sacrifice for their craft, can't you sacrifice for your nature? Can't you get out of bed to do the work you were made for? This isn't about hating rest or pleasure. It's about perspective. You're here to do something, to be useful, to contribute. That's your purpose, and it requires effort. So get up, do your work. That's what you're here for. Section 2. How easy it is to repel and to wipe away every impression which is troublesome or unsuitable, and immediately to be in all tranquility. It's easy to push away disturbing thoughts. Easier than you think. A troublesome thought comes. An unsuitable impression enters your mind. You can simply dismiss it, push it away, and immediately return to tranquility. This is mental discipline. Thoughts come automatically, but you don't have to entertain them. You don't have to follow. You don't have to believe them. A negative thought appears. You notice it. You dismiss it. Done. Peace returns. We make this harder than it is. We engage with every thought. We argue with ourselves. We ruminate. We give power to impressions that don't deserve it, but you can just let them go. Like swatting away a fly, acknowledging it came but not letting it land. Practice this. When a disturbing thought comes, don't fight it. Just acknowledge it and let it pass. Return your mind to tranquility. You have this power. Use it. Section 3. Judge yourself worthy of every act and word which are according to nature. And do not be turned aside by the blame which follows from some men nor by their words. But if a thing is good to be done or said, do not consider it unworthy of yourself. For those others have their own ruling principle, and follow their own inclinations. Do not regard these things, but go straight on, following your own nature and the common nature. And the way of both is one. If something is right to do, or say according to nature, do it. Don't be stopped by what others will think or say. Other people will judge you. They'll criticize. They'll blame you. Let them. They're following their own principles, their own inclinations, which may be wrong. Don't let their opinions turn you aside from what's right. Don't compromise your principles for their approval. Go straight on. Follow your nature and the common nature. The way is one. What's good for you as a rational being is good for the whole. What's good for the whole is good for you. This is courage. Doing what's right even when others disapprove. Even when it costs you socially. Even when people misunderstand, your job is to act according to virtue, not according to popular opinion. If they're the same, great. If they're different, follow virtue. Let others think what they want. You answer to nature, to reason, to truth, not to the crowd. Section 4. I go through the things which happen according to nature, until I shall fall and rest, breathing out my breath into that element, out of which I daily draw it in, and falling upon that earth out of which my father collected the seed, and my mother the blood, and my nurse the milk, out of which during so many years I have been supplied with food and drink, which bears me when I tread on it and abuse it for so many purposes. You move through life according to nature. You do your work, you fulfill your purpose, and eventually you'll fall and rest. You'll breathe out your last breath into the air from which you've drawn breath every day. You'll return to the earth from which you came. Your father's seed came from the earth. Your mother's blood came from the earth. Your nurse's milk came from the earth. Everything you've eaten and drunk came from the earth. This earth has carried you all your life. You've walked on it, used it, sometimes abused it for your purposes, and to it you'll return. This is the cycle. You're borrowed from nature, made of earth and air and water and fire, sustained by them. And you'll return to them. There's something beautiful and humbling about this. You're not separate from nature. You're a part of it. Temporarily organized in this form called you, but ultimately just nature taking a particular shape for a while. This should reduce anxiety about death. You're not going somewhere foreign. You're going home, returning to the source. You came from nature. You return to nature. In between, you get to experience consciousness, to think, to act, to contribute. That's the gift. Use it well. Then, let it go without complaint when the time comes. Section 5. Men do not admire the sharpness of your wits. Be it so. But there are many other things of which you cannot say, I am not formed for them by nature. Show those qualities then which are altogether in your power. Sincerity, gravity, endurance of labor, aversion to pleasure, contentment with your portion, and with few things, benevolence, frankness, no love of superfluity, freedom from trifling, magnanimity. Do you not see how many qualities you are immediately able to exhibit, in which there is no excuse of natural incapacity and unfitness, and yet you still remain voluntarily below the mark? Or are you compelled through being defectively furnished by nature to murmur, and to be stingy, and to flatter, and to find fault with your poor body, and to try to please men, and to make great display, and to be so restless in your mind? No, by the gods. But you might have been free of these things long ago. Only if in truth you must be charged with being rather slow and dull of comprehension. You must exert yourself about this also, not neglecting it nor yet taking pleasure in your dullness. Maybe people don't admire your intelligence. Fine. You can't control what natural gifts you were given, but there are many qualities you can control. Many virtues that are completely within your power, regardless of your natural abilities. You can be sincere. You can be serious about important things. You can endure hard work. You can resist cheap pleasures. You can be content with what you have. You can need little. You can be kind. You can be honest. You can avoid excess. You can avoid trivial pursuits. You can be magnanimous, great-souled. Look at all these qualities you can exhibit immediately. You have no excuse. These don't require special talent or genius. They just require choice. Yet you voluntarily fall short. You complain. You're stingy. You flatter people. You blame your body. You try too hard to please others. You show off. Your mind is restless and distracted. Are you compelled to be this way by nature? No. By the gods? No. You could have been free of these things long ago. Even if you're slow to understand, even if you're not naturally brilliant, you can work on that. But don't use it as an excuse. And certainly don't take pleasure in your dullness, in your ignorance. Marcus is being harsh with himself here and with us. You can't blame nature for your lack of virtue. Virtue is a choice. Character is a choice. Maybe you weren't born with great intelligence or talent or beauty, but you can choose to be honest, to work hard, to be kind, to live simply, to control yourself. These are in your power, right now, always. So stop making excuses. Stop blaming circumstances or genetics or other people. Choose virtue. Act on it. That's all that's required. And if you get there, does a brocat as far be I see, and if you projects time. Today, identify the travel it done. Section 6. One man, when he has done a service to another, is ready to set it down to his account as a favor conferred. Another is not ready to do this, but still in his own mind he thinks of the man as his debtor, and he knows what he has done. A third in a manner does not even know what he has done, but he is like a vine which has produced grapes, and seeks for nothing more after it has once produced its proper fruit. As a horse when he has run, a dog when he has tracked the game, a bee when it has made the honey, so a man when he has done a good act does not call out for others to come and see, but he goes on to another act, as a vine goes on to produce again the grapes in season. Must a man then be one of these, who in a manner acts thus without observing it? Yes, 3 types of people who do good. The first does something good and immediately wants credit. They keep track. They remind you what they did for you. They expect gratitude, recognition, repayment. The second doesn't demand credit openly, but internally keeps score. They know what they've done. They consider you in their debt. They're waiting for you to repay them somehow. The third doesn't even think about it. They do good the way a vine produces grapes. It's their nature. They don't expect applause or repayment. They just do what they do. A horse runs. A dog hunts. A bee makes honey. They don't announce it. They don't expect praise. It's just what they are. A good person does good acts and moves on to the next one. Like a vine that produces grapes, season after season without fanfare. Should you be this third type? Yes, this is the highest form of virtue. Doing good because it's your nature, not because you want something in return. Not even internal satisfaction from keeping score. Just doing what's right because that's what you do. Like the vine producing grapes, natural, effortless, unself-conscious. This is hard. We want recognition. We want to be appreciated. We want credit for our good deeds. But the truly virtuous person doesn't need any of that. They do good, and that's its own reward. They move on without looking back for applause. That's the standard. That's the goal. Section 7, but this also is a question of some moment. To inquire, how shall we come to understand that a man has done a good thing to another? If a man does this, does he not know it, and would he not wish me to know it? No, he must not expect it. For as I have done the thing, I have received the advantage. I will not make another the judge of this, unless he also receives it at my hands. When someone does good for you, they don't need you to recognize it. They've already received their reward. The act itself was the reward. Don't make them beg for recognition. Don't make them explain what they did. If they truly did it from virtue, they don't need your validation. And when you do good for others, don't wait for them to notice. Don't need them to acknowledge it. The doing is the reward. Incapables bulls. This flips our usual thinking. We think good deeds deserve recognition, that we should be grateful and express that gratitude. And perhaps politeness requires that, but the truly virtuous person doesn't need it. They're already complete in the act itself. This is freedom. When you don't need recognition, you can do good freely, anywhere, anytime, for anyone. You're not calculating who will appreciate it or who will repay you. You just do good because that's what you do. Section 8. No man is tired of receiving what is useful, but it is useful to act according to nature. Do not then be tired of receiving what is useful by doing it to others. Acting according to nature is useful. You benefit from doing good, from acting virtuously. So don't get tired of doing good for others. Every time you do, you receive something useful. You strengthen your character, you fulfill your nature, you become more fully yourself. People don't get tired of receiving benefits, so why would you get tired of giving them? Since giving them benefits you too? This reframes service. You're not sacrificing when you help others. You're fulfilling yourself. You're doing what you're made for. The benefit isn't just to them, it's to you. Your nature is social. When you act socially, when you help, when you contribute, you're living according to your design. That's its own reward. That's what makes you flourish. So don't think of duty as burden. Think of it as opportunity. Every chance to help is a chance to be more fully human. Section 9. The nature of the universe, out of the universal substance, as if it were wax, now forms a horse, and when it has broken this up, it uses the material for a tree, then for a man, then for something else. And each of these things subsists for a very short time. But it is no hardship for a chest to be broken up any more than it was for it to be nailed together. The universe is constantly forming and reforming things. Like a sculptor working with wax, it shapes a horse, then breaks it down and uses that material to make a tree, then a person, then something else. Each form exists for a brief time. Then it's broken down and reformed into something new. Is this cruel? No more than it's cruel to break apart a chest you nailed together. It's just transformation. The material continues. The form changes. You are one of these forms, temporary. The universe formed you and will break you down and use your material for something else. This isn't sad, it's just nature. You're part of the continuous process of transformation. Before you were this, you were something else. After you're this, you'll be something else. The material is eternal. The forms are temporary. Don't cling to the form. It's meant to change. You are wax in the hands of the universe. It shaped you into this form for now. Enjoy being this form while it lasts. Then, let the universe reshape you into whatever comes next. No tragedy, no loss, just transformation. Section 10, a little flesh, a little breath, and a reason to rule all that is myself. This is what you are, simple. A little flesh, your body, temporary, borrowed from the earth. A little breath, your life force, moving in and out, temporary, borrowed from the air. And reason to rule, all your mind, your capacity to think, to choose, to direct your life. That's it, that's you. The flesh will decay, the breath will stop. But while you have reason, you can rule, you can choose virtue, you can live well. Don't identify too much with the flesh. It's not really you, it's just the vehicle. Don't cling to the breath. It's borrowed, and you'll return it. Focus on the reason. That's the ruling part. That's what makes you human. That's what you can control. A little flesh, a little breath, and reason to rule all. Know what you are. Live accordingly. Section 11, throw away your books. No longer distract yourself. It is not allowed. But as if you were now dying, despise the flesh. It is only blood and bones, and a woven web of nerves and veins and arteries. See the breath also, what kind of a thing it is. Air, and not always the same air, but every moment thrust out and drawn in again. The third is the ruling part. Consider thus, you are an old man. No longer let this be a slave, no longer be pulled by the strings like a puppet by your selfish desire. No longer either be dissatisfied with your present lot or shrink from the future. Stop reading endlessly. Stop distracting yourself with constant learning, constant input. At some point you have to live what you know. You're dying. Act like it. The flesh is nothing special. Blood, bones, nerves, veins, arteries, biological machinery. The breath is just air. Coming in, going out, not even the same air. Every breath is new. What matters is your ruling part, your mind. And Marcus says to himself, you're old. Stop being a slave. Stop being controlled by desires and aversions. Stop being dissatisfied with now or afraid of the future. Take control. You have reason. Use it. Direct your life. Stop being passive. Stop being reactive. You know enough. Now live it before your time runs out. This is urgent. Not aggressive, but urgent. Life is short. You've learned enough. Stop preparing and start living. Section 12. All things are implicated with one another, and the bond is sacred. And there is hardly anything unconnected with any other thing. For things have been coordinated, and they combine to form the same universe. For there is one universe made up of all things, and one God who pervades all things, and one substance, and one law. One reason common to all intelligent animals, and one truth. Everything is connected. Everything is woven together. The bond between all things is sacred. Almost nothing exists in isolation. Everything coordinates with everything else to form one universe. One universe. One divine intelligence pervading everything. One substance forming all things. One law governing all. One reason shared by all thinking beings. One truth. You are part of this unity, not separate, not isolated. Connected to everything. When you harm another, you harm the whole, which includes yourself. When you help another, you help the whole, which includes yourself. This is why virtue is always beneficial, and vice is always harmful, because you're part of the system you're affecting. See yourself as connected. Act accordingly. What you do to others, you do to yourself, because there's no real separation. This is the foundation of ethics. Where one, act like it. Section 13. What am I to the universe? I am as a little bodily part is to the body. But with the intelligent power you are, you have the ability to see the universe whole. For nature has given you this power, that you can see that you are a part and can contribute to the whole in a way that doesn't harm it but actually benefits it. You're tiny, a small part of a vast whole, like a cell in a body. But unlike a cell, you have intelligence. You can understand that you're part of something larger. You can see the whole, at least in concept, and you can choose to contribute in a way that benefits the whole, not harms it. This is your gift and your responsibility. You're aware, you can think, you can choose. So choose to benefit the whole. Choose to be a good part of the larger organism. Don't be a cancer cell, growing at the expense of the body. Be a healthy cell, doing your job, supporting the whole. You have the power to see your place and act accordingly. Use that power. Section 14. Whatever happens to you has been prepared for you from all eternity, and the interweaving of causes was from eternity spinning the thread of your being and of what is to happen to you. Everything that happens to you was prepared from eternity. The causes were woven together long ago, spinning the thread of your existence and all that would happen to you. This is fate, destiny. Not in a mystical sense, but in a causal sense. Everything that happens is the result of prior causes, going back forever. You are the product of an infinite chain of causes, and what happens to you is the product of that same chain. So, accept it. It's not random. It's not a mistake. It's the natural outcome of how things are. This doesn't mean you're powerless. Your choices are also part of the causal chain. What you do matters. It affects what comes next. But what's already happened, that was determined by all that came before. Fighting with it is fighting with reality. Accept what was woven for you. Not passively, but peacefully. Then choose your next thread wisely. Section 15. Whether the universe is a concourse of atoms or nature is a system, let this first be established, that I am a part of the whole which is governed by nature. Next, I am in a manner intimately related to the parts which are of the same kind with myself. For remembering this, inasmuch as I am a part, I shall be discontented with none of the things which are assigned to me out of the whole. For nothing is injurious to the part, if it is for the advantage of the whole. For the whole contains nothing which is not for its advantage, and all natures indeed have this common characteristic. But the nature of the universe has this characteristic besides, that it cannot be compelled by any external cause to generate anything harmful to itself. By remembering then that I am a part of such a whole, I shall be content with everything that happens. Either the universe is random atoms or it's an organized system. Either way, you're part of it, and you're related to all the other parts that are like you, other human beings, other rational creatures. As a part of the whole, you won't be discontent with what's assigned to you, because nothing that benefits the whole is truly harmful to the part. The whole doesn't contain anything that's not for its own benefit. And the universe has this special quality: it can't be forced to create anything harmful to itself. So if something happens to you, it's for the benefit of the whole, which means, in a deeper sense, it's for your benefit too, since you're part of that whole. Remember this, and you'll be content with everything that happens. This is profound acceptance, not resignation, but understanding. You're part of something larger. What serves the larger purpose serves you, even if it doesn't feel like it. Trust the process. Trust the whole. You're exactly where you need to be, experiencing exactly what you need to experience. Section 16. Men exist for the sake of one another. Teach them then, or bear with them. Simple. Direct. Clear. People exist for each other. We're social creatures. We're made for cooperation. So when someone is ignorant or difficult, you have two options. Teach them, if you can. Help them see better, or bear with them. Tolerate them patiently if they can't or won't learn. Those are your only options. Getting angry doesn't help. Hating them doesn't help. Avoiding all human contact doesn't help. Teach or tolerate. That's it. This is practical wisdom. You can't control other people, but you can try to educate them. And if that fails, you can endure them without losing your peace. We're stuck with each other. We need each other. So, make it work. Help when you can. Endure when you must. But always remember, they exist for your sake and you for theirs. You're in this together. Section 17. In one way, an arrow moves. In another way, the mind. The mind, however, both when it exercises caution and when it is employed about inquiry, moves straight onward, not the less, and reaches its object. An arrow moves in a straight line to its target. The mind moves differently. It exercises caution. It investigates. It explores. But it still moves toward its goal. It still reaches its object. Don't expect your mental progress to be like an arrow. It will be more circuitous. You'll question, doubt, investigate, circle back. But as long as you keep moving toward truth, toward virtue, toward understanding, you'll get there. The path isn't always straight. That's okay. Keep moving forward. Keep seeking. Keep questioning. You'll reach your object. The mind, when properly directed, always does. Section 18. Enter into every man's ruling principle, and also let every other man enter into yours. Understand others. Try to see from their perspective. Enter their mind. Understand why they think and act as they do, and let them understand you. Be open. Be honest. Let them see your reasoning, your principles, your mind. This is empathy and transparency. Understanding others and being understood. When you can do this, conflict dissolves. You see why they act as they do, from ignorance, from false beliefs, from their own struggles. And they see why you act as you do. From principle, from reason, from trying to do what's right. This doesn't mean everyone will agree, but it means everyone can understand. And understanding breeds compassion, cooperation, peace. Enter others' minds with curiosity. Let them enter yours with honesty. That's how humans connect. That's how we work together. Consilience, and so ends Book 5 of Meditations. Marcus has reminded us that we're made for cooperation, for work, for contribution. That getting out of bed to do the work of a human being is our purpose. He's shown us that we're part of a larger whole, connected to all things, related to all people. And our duty is to benefit that whole, to teach or tolerate others, to do good without needing recognition. Most importantly, he's told us that acting according to nature isn't sacrifice, it's fulfillment. When you do good, when you contribute, when you serve, you're not giving something up. You're becoming what you are. Book 5 is about duty, but not duty as burden. Duty as calling. Duty as the path to becoming fully human. You are a social creature. You're made to work with others for others. That's not a limitation. That's your design. That's where your happiness lies. Not in comfort, not in avoiding difficulty, not in isolation, but in cooperation, contribution, service. Starting today, you can embrace this. When you wake up, remind yourself, I'm rising to do the work of a human being. This is what I'm here for. When people are difficult, remember, teach them or bear with them. Those are your options. When you do good, do it like a vine producing grapes, naturally, without announcement, without needing applause. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire. He could have lived for pleasure, for ease, for his own comfort. But he understood that happiness comes from fulfilling your nature, and his nature was to serve. Your nature is the same. You're here to contribute, to cooperate, to do your part in the larger whole. So, do it, without complaint, without needing credit. Just do it, because that's what you're made for. Thank you for listening to Book 5 of Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. In Book 6, we'll explore the nature of things, seeing through appearances to reality, and living according to truth rather than opinion. If this resonated with you, please like this video, subscribe to continue the series, and leave a comment. How can you better fulfill your duty to others today? Until next time, remember, you exist for the sake of others, and they for your sake. Teach them or bear with them, and get out of bed to do the work you were made for.